So, Father Beck,
Yes.
what do they believe will happen as the clock strikes 6-ish?
Now, by the way, it's 6 in your time zone.
In my time
So
zone.
it's going to happen on the West Coast at 6, but then you have to wait till it happens. It's going to go across, ripple effect.
No, it'll happen on our 6 here.
No, but then it'll ripple effect. So you'll be able to see
Oh.
it happening elsewhere as it happens.
It'll
It'll be delayed. So it's 6 wherever you are, your local time. What he says is going to happen is
see.
a big earthquake is going to happen, okay?
Well, that happened already a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be much bigger, though.
Oh,
This is
bigger
gonna be
than
This
that.
is a worldwide earthquake. The righteous are going to be taken up in the rapture.
Yeah.
And those who are not saved are going to be left writhing on the earth floor, and there will be damnation for them.
Really? So what
Yes.
category are you in?
I don't. The funny thing is, they're saying like 114,000.
Yeah.
That's it, are saved. That's like one block in Brooklyn.
That's nothing. That's my building.
Exactly. So
you kidding me?
How many of us are not
Joy,
getting in?
Max.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think you can stick with your Scrabble game. I wouldn't change your schedule, and I think I probably ought to go ahead and pay my cable bill. I really do believe in the return of Christ, but I really do believe that no one knows when He's going to return, and if somebody says it's going to be a specific date, then what we know is that date is not the day. It could be Friday, it could be Sunday, but I think Saturday is not going to happen.
But Max, I understand that some believers are holding rapture parties and that you believe in the rapture. Are you holding a rapture party?
Well,
and who's catering it?
And what kind of food do you serve?
Yeah.
And I guess you could eat anything you'd want, right? I mean, there's no
Yeah,
concern
might as well.
about diet at that kind of party. From my perspective, the Christian posture is to live prepared. That I wouldn't change my lifestyle, or I wouldn't make any decisions based upon the day Christ is returning, because I would want to be ready anytime, and hopefully live in such a manner that when He would return, I wouldn't have to do any last-minute preparation for His coming.
Well, Father Beck, why do you have to have Jesus return? Why do people say they want Jesus to return? The Christians do.
Because there's a scriptural notion that there will be a second coming, and He'll
then
come
what'll
back.
happen?
Well, the redemption of the world will have taken place then with the second coming of Christ. Everything will be complete in salvation history. So the idea is when He returns, we've come to a certain completion. Now,
I see.
how that will happen, when that will happen, as Max just said, the Bible says, you won't know the day nor the hour. So anyone who says they do is a false prophet. And in the Old Testament, they stone false prophts.
Okay, the guy behind all of this rapture stuff and all this day of reckoning and everything is a guy named Howard Camping, which he also predicted the end of the world in 1994. He was wrong then.
He was wrong then.
So why would we believe him now, Max?
Well, I don't think we should believe him now. I don't. I don't think that.
People do.
I'm concerned that when we.
A lot of people, Max, have sold their houses. They're moving out. This is true.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, in Italy, something happened. In Rome, they're moving out of Rome and everything, preparing for this. Is this guy Howard and the rest of these people who believe this going to reimburse all these people?
Hey, you know
when
what?
they
He's
move out of their
89.
houses?
He's 89. Every day is almost his last day. So it's easy for him to say this.
Exactly.
Okay?
You know, it's funny. What's his name? Stephen Hawking has recently said. You know, Stephen Hawking is right, the great neuroscientist or something. He's the most brilliant. He communicates through a computer. He has ALS. He cannot function from the neck down. Yet he got married 3 times. I don't know. You know, men can find a woman no matter what. The guy cannot communicate from the only from the neck up, and yet he's married 3 times.
Cerebral.
It's unbelievable. But he says that people who believe in an afterlife in heaven are just afraid of the dark. Your response?
I think that that's not true at all. And I think that you can easily believe in the afterlife and not have it based in fear. Because we want to know, I think, and live in the fact that we're going to live on. Our spirits will live on. I mean, I believe that about people I love whom have died. I mean, Max,
but
I'm
Max,
sure
do you believe in a heaven with, like, you know, there are angels and floating people around, all that stuff?
I really do. I really believe the Bible calls this the great day, and it's the great day in which Christ will will graduate from this life into the next. There's just too much suffering and pain in this world to think that this is all there is. And then when you place your belief in a resurrected Christ, His promise is that He will return, and that really this is just the first step in our eternal existence.
Well,
I tell you what, I'm placing all my hope in that day.
Okay. You know, this Stephen Hawking is 69 years old. He has had ALS since he's 21 years old. If anybody should believe in an afterlife, it's him, and he doesn't.
I know, and he has
because the
that
next
right.
life should be better for him than this one has been.
That's true, but the value of this is you should live each day like it's your last. I mean, that's the takeaway here.
Well, I agree with that.
Well,
party down, baby.
Let's do it. Steak dinner tonight?
Okay, we'll be back in a minute. You got it.